So all the boys are here. Well, we're just leaving off for Sawtry.
Ah, yes. Happy days.
Should be good fun. Fun day.
And here we are. About to arrive at our old homes.
Oh dear. Even here, this is where we used to ride a motorcycle illegally.
Yeah. So now we're here.
Oh, the irony! So we're just coming into Deer Park Road, and the reaction I've got to put on camera, because Michael has not seen.
Oh right, yeah, your
You've
house.
not seen
Yeah.
the house is for how many years?
Oh, a few years now.
Here we go.
Let's have a look.
We are in Deer Park Road. We're coming up to number 7.
Oh my God. Blimey!
Look at the front garden.
Oh my God! Look at that!
It's
nice.
It's a car park. Oh dear. You coming out?
So here we are, sat on the green.
Sat on the green in Sawtry.
How many years ago was this? Last time we were on here?
Yeah.
40, 42 maybe?
Yeah, 40
15.
something.
Yeah.
Turn the camera around and show you our view.
There we go.
That's
my old house on the right.
yeah,
Yeah.
that one.
That one.
And
This doesn't look any different.
my old
And
house.
that's Mark's old house,
Which
which
you
looks
can
like a bomb's gone off. Your dad would be turning in his grave if he saw his garden.
His garden is
Morning, noon and night he would do that garden, wouldn't
his garden is now ripped up, gravelled.
he? Yeah.
There's two estate cars and 2 vans.
2 vans
There's a
on the garden.
Double, on the front garden that you weren't allowed to walk on has 2 transit vans on it, and it's gravelled.
Yeah, yeah. And then I look at my old house, and it looks exactly the same. Even the fence, the fence is the same.
Yeah. Well, there was a tree in the front garden, though, weren't there?
Oh, there was.
Just as we looked to the left of the kitchen window, I remember a tree.
Yeah, there was. That's
and
right.
Our days always used to start with me in the back.
Yeah.
Well, just like we started this day, me in the back door of 7 Deer Park, open the back door, and I'd whistle at the top of my voice right across Glebe Road.
Keep whistling until you saw me at the window.
Until you appeared at the side window of the house, rubbing your eyes because we woke you up. I'd go, you coming out?
Yeah. Come on, we're off.
5. Do you remember I wanted to actually put an intercom? I wanted to stretch a wire across the road. Pre-cellular phones.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Imagine that. Yeah, I would have put a cable across the road.
Crazy.
Just bonkers.
I can't believe how much it's changed.
They're the original garage doors. Yours has got the original garage doors.
They are. Unbelievable.
Were they yellow? Were they yellow and blue or something?
I think my mum used to paint them turquoise. She seemed to have a phase of like a turquoisey blue.
Hang on, there was another tree as well. So there was a tree as we looked.
I think there was a tree there.
There was a tree there,
yeah,
to the right. There was 2 trees, wasn't there? I remember that.
And then actually, the fence has been extended out because prior to when we lived there, the fence, there was a strip of grass. Do you remember? Because I used to mow it occasionally.
Yeah.
So they did move the fence out. So maybe that fence isn't original, but it doesn't look too far off it.
And there was the Glorms next door.
Yeah.
And then the Jakes, where the white van camper van is down there. So
right,
that was the Glorms house.
Yeah.
That was the Jakes' house, and then down here, wasn't it the Sangers? The Sangers was in this.
Oh, yes.
Do you remember as well?
Yes, I do remember.
When they built this road.
Yeah.
Do you remember the builders' huts that were on this green?
No, I don't remember that.
Do you remember that?
No.
What year did you move here?
1970.
Ah, that's right. I was here. I was here 66. So from 66.
Right.
From 66 until.
Well, we lived down Millview.
Did you
First of all, yeah, we lived in Millview for about 2 years in a bungalow there, and then we bought that and moved to there in 1970.
Wow.
That's my earliest memories actually, is Millview. That's where we lived, and I was only like probably 2 years old. So
I didn't know that.
So for a couple of years we lived there, and then Mum bought that. So.
When we came down, I think that was the last house in the road.
Yeah. So you got it new, didn't you?
Yeah, they bought it new. In fact, my dad, who came down from Manchester,
right,
with work, they said go down because we're relocating to Peterborough, and anybody who wants to relocate, can come down and have a weekend away on the company.
Yeah.
So of course, if you're working at a big factory and
Yeah.
you know, in the 60s, and your boss says, do you fancy a free weekend away? Pretty much anywhere, you'd go, yeah, no problem.
Absolutely.
Well, he came down here, liked it,
Right.
bought the house,
Right.
and then sold the idea to all his mates in Manchester of coming down, and that's why the whole of the street.
Oh, really?
There was Trevor Cheetham, Ken Bradley.
Well, they all came from Manchester.
And they all came from Manchester, all down with my dad, because he brought all his mates down with him.
Bloody hell.
Clever. Typical my dad, that.
Yeah. But I don't know if we bought that new. I'm not sure if it was new.
It must have been.
Must have been fairly new, mustn't it?
Yeah. Well, I've got pictures of there's like a big, well, all the builders' huts were here.
Yeah.
And then, do you remember the lorry that was on that bit of grass there? There was an abandoned lorry, like, and we just trashed it as kids.
I can't remember.
We
that.
ruined it,
No,
absolutely.
I don't
And it was just a broken down builder's lorry that we used to play on.
But I do remember. I remember when we moved in there. None of that area. It was all grass, and it was a field.
Yeah, it was.
Straight up from there.
With the
wasn't it?
brook and the there was like a parachute swing.
There
remember
was,
that?
yeah. And what was the guy? Dykstra, wasn't it?
Andrew Dykstra.
Andrew Dykstra.
Andrew
He lived
Dykstra.
around back there, and we used to go round to his house, and his house went onto like a little dyke, didn't it? And you remember you could walk across and go into the fields from there. So I don't think they've built further along there, have they?
Well, I remember one of the, again, this must have been when we were building Shawley Road.
Yeah.
And we used to, clear off in the evening and go and play on the building site because it wasn't fenced off.
Yeah, I think we
and
did,
build
I do
walls
remember,
across the road.
Yeah.
Cement.
You could do that now, could you?
You could. We're like 5 years old or something, building walls with cement and playing on a building site. Jumping out the second floor window into piles of sand. You remember that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do
Climbing
remember
up the
that.
scaffolding.
Yes.
And there was no floors in these houses.
No.
Going up the scaffolding
I remember.
on just the rafters, and leaping out the window into big old piles of sand.
Oh, crazy, in the crazy days.
Hilarious. Just playing cricket on here.
Yeah. I remember.
I remember playing cricket on here and running around here with a little toy dog on wheels. What great times.
I do remember. I remember being called in when I was younger, and in the summertime, and being called in when everyone was still playing on the playing field. And my mum would say, "Oh, come on, it's time to come in." I was like, "Oh, really? I really don't want to come in." And I would look out the window and see everybody playing on the playing field. And I was like, "That's not fair, is it?" And they'd be out till 9, 10 o'clock at night, wouldn't they, on here? Playing around.
I just noticed the top right-hand window is a different size to the left.
I think that's always been like that.
It must have been, but that's odd, isn't it?
That cladding is new as well. That's not.
Yeah, it didn't have
cladding.
the same as.
No, it had wooden cladding, I think.
Oh, right.
So, but for whatever reason.
Yeah, that rotted out years ago. So I say, yeah, it's probably illegal to cycle on here. This is original, the old post office. No, 1977 that is. But this hydrant sign, I remember chipping this with a hammer as a kid. Yeah, all the corners were chipped off it. There you go. I remember that. I remember chipping all of that off as a kid.
What a horrible child.
Oh, absolutely. And do you remember as well? I remember firing a bow and arrow down here.
You've got more memories than I have. I don't remember half of this. Yeah.
I shot it as high as I could, a proper bow and arrow, and it went straight through someone's spokes, missed their legs down there by just inches.
I'll tell you. Go on.
Do you remember the caravan there when I shot that same bow and arrow straight up in the air as high as it could go, and it came down and went smashing straight through the sky like that.
I'll tell you what I do remember though.
And all we did is just leg it.
I think there was a trailer on there somewhere, and David Richardson cut his leg open, didn't he? And I remember him running across here or somewhere.
I don't remember that.
Don't you?
No.
Yeah, I do remember that when he was very young. He was probably only about 8 or 9. I always remember that. He cut his leg open. So
these trees are just so big now.
I know.
That'd stop you playing cricket, wouldn't it?
I know. Are we going to cycle down the old alleyways?
Where it says no cycling.
Yeah.
Hitler's Alley. Do you remember?
Hitler's Alley.
Hitler's Alley.
Yeah.
What a terrible thing to be associated with someone. Hitler's Alley. So, first of all,
I used to come down here and have a stick.
oh, hang on. It says no cycling.
Yes.
Oh, it says no with a stick. Yeah. Hitler's Alley.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. That is a shocking. It's all original fencing. Oh, here's another one. Here's another memory. I remember hacking that. I remember making that cut. Did you? Yeah. Found a bow saw down in the conker field, and as we were bringing it back home, wanted to see if it worked. This was the first bit of wood we came across. Someone's fence panel. Terrible. How dreadful, really. You went, no, it was called Jubilee Walk, wasn't it? And we took a picture of your bike, the Jubilee.
Have you still got that?
Yeah, pretty sure I have, yeah. In black and white, but we colorise it.
Yeah.
You can colorise it. Yeah, you can now. Oh, I always remember it had this anti-cycling. Yeah. But is it called Jubilee Walk anymore?
What's it called now?
It was here, it was right here.
It was, yeah.
It was called Jubilee Walk, and it's still...
You used to be able to go down the back there, I remember that. Going down there. We should go down there first.
Yeah, absolutely.
Going down there, but it was more
It's going to be like a 10-hour video, this, you know.
Yeah.
Blimey.
Condense it.
One of these.
Big boring old bed.
Yeah, but we did get greeted by the police as we entered Sawtry, which was quite appropriate.
Well, this is brilliant. I couldn't hope for a better weather.
You couldn't. Blimey, look at this. And you see, the kids obviously don't play down there because this would all be hacked down.
Yes. I never cut my head open in the field over there. With the barbed wire. I remember that.
And the fifth.
I was only about 10.
The 500 tree's gone.
The 500.
Yeah, get out of that tree. I've been looking after this tree for 500 years.
Let's go back. Let's go back up there.
There's no sign of any children lighting fires or anything. No haystacks that are burning.
No.
Schools mustn't be off. What a different world. Yeah. What a completely different world. This was. Ah, I remember this bit of grass. Hang on a minute. This here. Yeah. I can remember. I think it was Graham Atkinson jumped through that guy's fence. I'm sure he did. I'm sure he jumped through this fence here, and all of that was just a hen field, wasn't it?
There's houses there now, isn't there?
Yeah, but there was a big ditch. Do you remember that big ditch? We used to cycle.
Yes, I do, yeah.
Up and down that big ditch.
Oh, look at this.
Blimey, you can hardly look at it. Stephen Gray's house was on the back down there, wasn't it?
Yeah. Where does that take you to then?
Belgrave Square, that.
Is it?
Yeah, but there was a big ditch here, and we just used to go like in a loop. Do you remember?
I remember all
down, up, down, round, down, up, round, all of that.
Yeah. But that was never open like that, was it?
No, well, it was just a path with there was a bush, there was like a hedgerow here. Yeah. That was all just field.
Yeah. But this
that was Baker's field. That was Baker's field. Baker, and he kept his hens there. And he used to come after you with a shotgun. Remember that now? Oh, long dead. But all he wanted to do was protect his hens. When you look back at the things we did, and all people were trying to do was just earn a living.
Yeah. And all we did was just...
all we wanted to do was play around and have fun. And, you know, why can't we throw sticks and bricks up your conker trees? Why do you set the dogs on us and chase us with a 12-bore shotgun?
What's wrong with that? You know? I don't see a problem with that at all. No problem.
we used to live here. And we're just going, we're 40 plus years ago. Yeah. So we're coming back and remembering it all.
Reminiscing, yeah.
But it's all the same. I mean, it's the same trees, isn't it? Yeah. There used to be a whole load of them, though, didn't they? Yeah. And also, do you remember I don't know what type of trees they were. We used to climb them right to the top. And they used to bend over, and a whole tree would come down on the path, and then you let go of it, and you'd be standing on the path, and the whole tree would spring back up.
I do just remember this.
It's a shame that those houses are there, because we should really go and find half a brick and lob it up the tree for old time's sake.
I do remember this being obviously
this was just a ditch of mud. You know what we should do? I know what we should do.
Put it down.
No, that's down there. What we should do is at least do a circuit here, because this is what we used to do. Go down the ditch, around, and then back down the ditch again. Do you remember doing that? That's what we used to spend hours doing this. Absolutely hours. Oh, rally hustlers.
Then we upgraded, didn't we?
Rally Hustler, yeah, it was Sun GT and Jubilee, and the Jubilee was just so much more expensive. It was like 20 quid more. No way!
You Yours was matte black, wasn't
Matte black, yeah. I nearly bought one the other week.
it?
Yeah, there was one on eBay and I nearly bought it, but I thought, what do I want that for? Do you know, I can still remember the frame number.
How much was that going for?
Oh, it went a lot. I still remember my frame number was HB00232336.
Oh
How
God,
stupid is that?
sad,
And that is what? Blimey.
45 years
40
ago.
plus years ago. Oh, that's nice to see.
Yeah.
That's nice to see that there are actually still some kids who now have fun without an Xbox in their hand.
Do you go down here then?
Yeah. Now this
I don't.
is put your foot down. This is the dirty alley. And
What about this bit of road here?
well, this bit of road weren't here. There used to be a whole pile of trees here that we used to climb up. This is where all those trees were here. Just off Deer Park Road. Deer Park Road's down there. And this was Healy's place, wasn't it?
Yeah, at the bottom.
You don't be doing that in 2021. You don't be coughing, do you? Oh, blimey, how world's changed. So this is where we used to thrash down and literally put your foot down. Like that, right? Massive crate. Oh, hang on, because she might jump out and grab you here. You remember? And Mrs. Healy jumped out of that and grabbed you. Did you punch her in the tit?
Yeah.
I'm sure you did. I'm sure you punched her in the tit. And she hadn't got away.
I don't remember that.
Sure.
No, I don't believe that. That's not true.
That's not true because we were angels. But yeah, that's a hell of a house. I wonder what he did.
No idea. It's massive. It's old as well, isn't it?
And the wall's still original.
Yeah.
This was covered in ivy, weren't it?
It was.
And it was so hard to climb up that because it was so high.
I know.
And yeah,
That's the original wall, isn't it?
That's the original, yeah.
And then there was a tree at the bottom here, wasn't there, that we all sort of like
Fiddly Dee tree. Up a tree, Fiddly Dee. That's the place for me. But all the dust, all the gravel's gone, so you can't put your foot down anymore. Nice. Here it is. I know, it's a shame. Look at it. That's not been climbed in decades. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He does, Mr. Garler's house. But this, yeah, there's the. We used to sit on that branch. That's quite high for kids, isn't it? Because I remember that branch up there.
They never put it down then.
No, but they haven't been climbed in years though.
Oh, it's obviously bigger than now, isn't it?
Look, I mean, oh, do you remember the bus shelter that was there?
Yeah, I do. Oh, yes, yes.
Massive, yeah, absolutely massive. Here, there used to be a bus shelter here, and I think we wrote in ink all over it, as you do.
Yeah, you just sit in there when it was raining, didn't you?
Yeah.
Have a shelter.
And Mellors Court, we used to be on the roof of that, get told off for going on the roof. It's shocking, really, when I think about it.
Old people's home.
We go down there.
Yeah, you can go down.
Yeah. Go down. I think is it High Street Sawtry, this, isn't it? Tracy Lear used to live in one of these.
Who?
Tracy Lear.
Did she?
She used to live in one of these. And this here, without poking the camera straight in someone's house, this used to be country life, didn't it?
Yeah, but prior to that, didn't it used to call
In fact, yeah, it was Colbert's. In fact, you can see where the sign was, and Colbert's.
yeah.
Yeah, you can just see where country life was up
This was
there.
Colbert's place, wasn't it?
This was Colbert's, but he didn't have the whole front. That was his house,
Oh.
and then this was his.
I used to love going in that shop because
Oh, it had a lovely smell about it, didn't it? And his door was here. That was the door. To get in, that was the door. Yeah. It wasn't a window, that was a door. That's how you accessed Colbert's shop. I'd love to know his history, because he was German, weren't he? And then down here, go down here, there was a building just here where it had all newspapers in. Do you remember? Because that was Pell's.
What?
There was like a newspaper store where that yeah, it was a wooden building. And it was full of old newspapers. It's been a right old fire hazard.
I don't remember that.
No?
No?
Oh no, I'm coming down here.
That at all. So what's down here then? What did this used to be in? Was this just...
It's just a cut, I've honestly... Yeah. Not a clue down here. Because I only ever went down here as far as the newspaper place. This was, I don't know what was down here at one point. Nice places though. Probably Manor View. No, I don't remember it. Right. Where we used to come to get tip tops. Remember tip tops?
I do, yeah.
Sweets.
Yeah.
But never newspapers.
Mark's got a better memory than I have, but I do remember him.
Hang on, this is bloke who can remember his frame number from 40 odd years ago. So yeah.
Crazy. What was that place called?
Hoskins.
That's it.
That had a smell. That had a nice smell to it as well, didn't it?
That shop, I remember. My mum asked me to go and get something, and she gave me a £20 note, and I
Oh,
lost
pull in here. Do you remember? Just pull in. Do you remember when we? I won't use the word broke in, but we up there. We made a den in that. You remember?
Oh yes, yeah. Yeah.
It'd probably be classed as breaking and entering nowadays,
We
wouldn't
would
it?
do, yeah.
But we classed it as making a den.
Yeah, but I remember, say, go back to Hoskins. I went for my mum for shopping, and she gave me a £20 note, and I lost the £20 note in the shop. And luckily, they found it. It must have come out of my pocket, and it went underneath the counter,
Yeah.
and they found it, thankfully.
Blimey.
Otherwise, I'd
That
be
was a lot
like,
of money, though,
that was a huge amount of money, yeah.
Yeah, I tell you, Furnos lived there. I remember that.
Yeah.
Well, they ran the chippy.
Did they?
Yeah,
Chippy's still here, isn't
John and Will.
it? The Chippy's still here, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it's the Chinese.
Oh, is it?
It's the Chinese chippy. Yeah, I remember. I say the fence around the green, the styling of it used to be black and white, didn't it?
Yeah.
It used to be black and white fencing, and that was like hundreds of years old. So they kept the styling of the thing, but obviously it's not quite the same. Bloody hell. There was a payphone, wasn't there?
Yeah. Oh yeah, there was, wasn't there? That was out there, wasn't it? It was there, wasn't it? Where that
Yeah, the
exchange
payphone.
unit is.
So the payphone, yeah, would have been here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It would.
that was the. Yeah. I remember that used to be full of bikes, didn't it?
Yeah.
The lay-by was
The
just
lay-by,
full
yeah.
of bikes. This is where I got my head stuck in a fence. One of these here.
I remember as well, I don't know if you remember, my mum parked up to the side there, where the chippy is.
Yeah.
So she parked up, I think I got out, my sister got out, went to the shop, and a guy on a 50cc or whatever it was, he came flying along here, saw a girl who was waving to her, smashed into the back of my mum's car, and went right over the top of it while my mum was in the car. She was like, what on earth's happened? And it didn't write the car off, but it made a right mess of it. Lost in Allegro, that was.
What about his bike? Was his bike all right?
I think he was alright though, to be fair. I mean, the fact that he went right the way over the top of the car was unbelievable. No.
And now we double take vans.
Yeah.
There's a van that's just come by and we double took the van. Oh dear. And the police are still after us.
Yeah.
There's a copper just gone down there, still chasing after us, but he's going in the wrong direction. So I think we've got away with it.
Got away with it, yeah.
If he comes back, we've got to stop him and try and get him on camera. What have you two been up to?
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's got to be, hasn't it?
It has, yeah.
If he comes back, I'm going to pull that copper over and try and get him to be part of the fun. Oh, and someone on an exceptionally illegal electric scooter.
Yeah. Oh yes.
Right by the police, there is someone over there. Hats off to him.
Yeah. You know those are illegal.
Yeah, clearly a drug dealer.
Yeah.
It's all drug. That's why they want to ban them, because clearly only drug dealers use them.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, look at that.
Yeah.
You should be in your polluting Range Rover, mate, and then you'd be legal.
Exactly.
Here he is, he's a copper, he's a copper.
Oh, he's not coming, he's going.
Oh, damn.
Next time, we'll catch up with
Damn,
him.
he went the other way, but hopefully he'll come back. And if he comes back, we'll make him famous. Well, not famous, probably infamous.
Yeah. Are you going to put this on YouTube then or something?
It might do.
You could do, couldn't you?
But I'll hide the link.
You should do, actually. Put it on YouTube. I'll put some sort of...
Sawtry.
Yeah.
Sawtry remembered.
Sawtry remembered.
That Land Rover place is very original.
Yeah,
and
that's been around for years.
That's been around, yonks, yeah.
That's where...
Collett's Cold Freeze, remember?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Yes,
and
that place there was built without planning permission.
What,
you
like
know?
there?
Yeah, this whole... Oh, he's got his lights on, we better not stop him. Sawtry is full of police. That's the third copper we've seen. Yeah. We'd never be able to get away with being kids if it was like this, would we?
God, no.
We just would never be able to do
anything,
it.
Would you?
We'd be locked up.
Yeah, I know.
We probably would be locked up. Horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. But fun days. We were very lucky growing up in a village the size of it was, the size that it was back then, when you were allowed to allowed to be kids. I don't think you're allowed to be kids anymore.
No, there wasn't any distractions for us either, was there?
No.
We didn't have Xboxes and the internet.
Social media
phones.
was proper social.
It was, yeah.
It was proper
socialising.
Going round your mate's house, that was social media.
It was just of its time, wasn't it? That was the thing. I think it was. We were lucky to live and grow up when we did, and the time we did in this village, weren't we? Whereas now it's totally different, isn't it? So, but it is a long time ago, I guess. So yeah.
Now what have we done? It wasn't us. Quick.
Really bad.
Sawtry. No, they're too slow. We got away with it because he's heard that there's 2 Urks on bikes.
Crazy.
I reckon they've heard that there's 2 Urks on bikes who cycled down Hitler's Alley.
Yeah. Broke the law.
So, yeah, cycled on the green.
There is no law breaking now in Sawtry. That's why we've turned up.
Sawtry said, what the hell's happened? Send the police.
Yeah.
So it's filled with rozzers.
Filled with them. Driving like maniacs as well. Yeah. No need for that at all. No need. It's probably some old lady's fallen over or something silly like that.
At least it weren't the bloke on the electric scooter. He got away with it.
He did.
He got away with it. He pulled that one off.
That's 3 points you get for that. No, 6 points.
6 points, no insurance. Yeah.
But you can't insure them.
Yeah, maybe that was a shout for a load of kids who've hollowed out a haystack. Playing on a building site. Set fire to a haystack. Yeah.
Oh dear.
Or they've gone up to the White Bridge and they're burning.
White Bridge. Is that still there?
Should we go and have a look?
Yeah,
let's go and have a look.
Let's go and have a look.
So now we're going to move from the green to the White Bridge. Let's go. Oh, and a biker. Gingerly going by the police.
Come on.
Right. Oh, blue lights have gone on. Again.
Perhaps they went the wrong way.
2 of them though, 2 cars.
It's a bit over the top, isn't it?
Cheers, isn't it? You see, do you remember when we found that bomb? And we went,
oh, what? Is that by the
right up at the White Bridge, and we thought we found a bomb, and it was actually a copper kettle that they used to boil, and we went tearing off to the police house. We found a bomb! As you do.
Oh well, come on.
Yeah. Oh, hang on. Hang on. More police. Look innocent. Quick, look innocent. Wasn't us. Jacko did it. That was Parkin's house. Brian Parkin's house. Yeah, remember Brian Parkin? He was the woodwork teacher.
No.
And then that was, I can't remember his name. That was Gregory Chutelli's house. Ozzy's house. There's Ozzy's house.
Oh, right.
So that was that. That was Paul Osborne's house with his Honda 900.
Oh yeah.
That was lovely. That was absolutely lovely. He's in Spain. Yeah. And Gidding Road doesn't look much like Gidding Road anymore. There's the old mill. Remember playing in that? And here, do you remember, this was the grain store. Oh, this has got to be very, very worth a stop. Do you remember, you do remember, the grain store that the lorry works was in? Oh, that was probably one of our worst moments, I think. That was bad.
That's when the police came round, didn't they?
Every Sunday, mate. So We just completely trashed that, didn't we? Absolutely trashed. What a pair of buggers. That was bad. Look, I don't remember them hills or anything. No, that's pleasure. That's the builders.
The caravan that was there, and there was all the paperwork. We just chucked it up in the air and just made an absolute mess of it. Really bad, that is.
Why? Because it was fun. Yeah. Awful. Watch it pull into the car. Pull in the car. Sorry, we got told off cycling. Sawtry. Oh, fantastic.
There's the White Bridge up here.
Yeah, the White Bridge.
Near the
This is where many a happy moment was spent as kids. And now it's a building site. That was the football field. It was just the football field, yeah.
It's going to be huge.
Yeah, I mean, it's developed right the way up to the White Bridge.
Yeah, you'd never believe it, would you?
With footpath as well. There was never a footpath here. And
Try it.
We will find out. And do you remember?
White Bridge, here it is.
It is, and look at it. It's no kids have played in that for a long while, have they?
No. You used to get underneath that, didn't you?
Let's have a look.
You could get underneath it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and climb right round it. That's not been. Wow. That has not been inhabited by any 8-year-olds in about as long as I can ever remember. And it was really hard. Do you remember? It was really easy getting in from this side. Yeah. This was simple getting in. That side was really hard to get in.
Yeah.
And we used to be able to climb right under it.
Deeper than it was before, I remember.
But
well, there's nothing there, is there?
Someone's been down here with a spray can.
Yeah.
We didn't do that. We might have been guilty of arson, but we never were guilty of. Look at that! You wouldn't get in that.
No, you wouldn't.
That's so sad.
Yeah.
That.
It's so overgrown, isn't it?
And when you look, there's no paths where any kids have been in.
No.
You know what I mean? No one's beaten a track down into it.
No. No, they haven't, have they? They never come up here, do they? Why would they?
Sawtry in 2021. Realised just how long this video is going to be. I remember getting my LC. It will be getting my LC and coming out of Deer Park Road, yeah, and thinking, what is it that's so special about these LCs? And I opened it up down here,
yeah,
and it was like, wow, hit the power band, wallop.
And that was a 350 you had, didn't you?
No, that was a 250. The black. 350. I had a 350 after, but the first LC I had was a 250.
Oh, was it?
And I came down here, and as soon as it hit like 6,000 revs, I think it was, 6 and a bit, yeah. Wallop! Yeah. That thing just went, and it was like. If
you rode one now, if you feel the same, or would it be like, it's a bit boring now? It's not as fast.
Well, I had an F2 in about 1990.
That was a YPVS one.
That was a YPVS. That was really soft and tame.
Was it?
Yeah, and I also think the thing that made it so good, and probably the thing about the White Bridge, and probably the thing about Sawtry that made it so good, is we didn't have all of the baggage. We didn't have all of the, we didn't have the mortgage. We didn't have the bills to pay. We didn't have the responsibility. We didn't have
17.
Kids. No, I'm going right back. As kids, you don't have that baggage of responsibility, and so therefore, absolutely every day is an adventure. You live for the moment.
Definitely.
There we go. Bikers in Sawtry. Nice to see. He's probably borrowed. God damn it! He's a bit brave. He's probably borrowed his mate's 100cc, completely uninsured.
And go up that. It wasn't up there though.
Now,
was it?
this road here was where you used to cycle. You used to cycle right to that hill, that farm on the hill, and then try and make your way down without using your brakes.
Yes.
And you were flying. By the time you got to the bottom of the hill, you were absolutely flying. And I remember going down there with Andrew Baxter, and we used to get this stuff. When this stuff dries out, I don't even know what it is.
Or whatever it's called.
This stuff.
And smoke it.
And smoke it. But we used to smoke it in the Times newspaper. And it'd be literally a 3-foot-long cigarette.
It did nothing though, did it really?
No, that just made your eyes water. We used to smoke it in a ditch down here, and that's where we found the bomb. Down there on the right, there was a pond.
I don't remember that.
There was a pond. There was a pond, and on the side of the pond, there was this big dome that we found, and we decided that clearly the pond was a crater from where a bomber had crashed in the war, and this was one of its bombs. And so we cycled off at full pelt down to the police station to report this finding of a bomb.
Mad. Absolutely mental.
Right, let's go and discover where this footpath goes. So we found a little shortcut. Wonder where it goes. It's like Coppings Close. No, this is Glebe Road. This will bring you up near the van. Blimey. So here's another one. This is Tony's old house, then, isn't it? Yeah. So down here. Was it there? Yeah. I know Richard Featherstone lived there.
No.
Did Tony live there?
I'm sure it was there.
So that's Tony's house. I remember when Featherstone lived there.
Yeah, Richard Featherstone.
Yeah.
I'm sure Tony Bolts lived there as well. Or it was one of these, I know, I'm sure it was. Definitely.
Wow. Let's go and see Sandy. Let's just go and quickly have a word with Sandy.
Who's Sandy?
Just lives here.
Do they know you?
Yeah.
Do they remember you?
Yes.
Or you just pulling up?
Just hang on a second.
Remember me?
Martin and David, I think they still live there.
What, Whiskers?
Yeah, they still live there.
Nice.
Sorry? Yeah, I'm sure they still live there.
One of these.
And Colin Brooks, that was Colin Brooks' house. And Dave Richardson lived in that one. Steve Gray and Alan Jones lived down there.
Steve Gray, I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't, there you go, 16, wasn't that? That was David's, wasn't it? Yeah, I'm sure it was. He had Airfix models hanging from his ceiling, hanging from his roof.
They're still looking for us, mate.
And they still full of police. Do you remember the Jag that was down here?
Yeah.
When we said you've done a really good job of tinting your windows and it was burnt out. Now here's a memory. Hang on a minute, you've done that wrong, because this is where we used to jump our bikes.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember we used to put a plank there, go flying down the road, and jump as far as we could onto that grass.
But didn't your mate used to live there?
Glenn.
Glenn, that's
Glenn,
it.
and he had that Jaguar XJ6 that was blacked out windows. I mean,
He's the one who said Jeff's Duke died or something, was it? Like, who the hell's
Who's
Jeff
he? Didn't have a clue.
Yeah.
Well, I remember when we saw him, and we said, "You've done a really good job of tinting your windows." And when you look close, his Jag had burned out inside, and he was all smoke damage. Do you remember Andy Holt's? This used to be Andy Holt's house, and we used to get his air pistol and shoot the street light. We shot so many holes in that street light with his Webley. Unbelievable. And he had a bush. There was a big bush here that we used to get in. We used to get in there was a massive great bush there, and we used to hide in that bush, sit in that whole bush.
Yeah, because they had that garage there, didn't they, for some reason? I don't know why there was a garage there.
Incredible. Just funny days. Right, I think
onward.
So yeah, I remember Papyrus Way, Tracy Lear's old house.
Number 1.
Number 3.
Oh,
that was Tracy and Trudy Lear's. And then Westfield Road. And then this was the cut that took you to Papyrus Way. There was was it the Palmers? Julie Palmer, Jane Palmer? Lived there. And remember all the roses down here, knocking the heads off the roses. And the most targeted door for knock and run ever in Sawtry was that one. Well, because you could go in both directions and you could be invisible in seconds. So yeah, that was the house that everybody played knock and run at, and where we filled up with what? We put all the milk bottles on the doorstep. You remember collecting all the empties? Collected about 50 empty milk bottles and stuck them all on the drive. And then straight here, this wasn't it the Whiteheads? Dale Whitehead. Down here was Stuart's old place. Ashdale Close, wasn't it? Wow, it's all... This weren't here. They didn't have these. We hate you, cyclist. Mate, it's probably no cycling, that's why. It'd be wonderful if it is. Many a happy time spent in Stuart's house, number 14.
Yeah, we used to park the bikes all here, didn't we? Our motorbikes. All on the side. Yeah. That was the time when someone tried to... they said, I'll try and hold your moped back, because it was only 2.9 brake horsepower. Yeah. And you could grab hold of the handrail at the back and hold the bike, and you'd try and pull away and it wouldn't go.
It'd stall.
It wouldn't go.
What's it? The Nelsons, weren't it? They lived in, I think, number 18, I think.
Nelsons.
Yeah.
Do you know a lot of people from
I
around here?
remember. Stupid memory for names. I remember you coming off your bike.
Yeah, on that corner.
And that
Yeah.
woman.
Yeah, you were behind me, weren't you? You were like, you're never going to make that. You're never going to make that. I didn't.
But the funny bit was when she said, "Come in and I'll check you out. Drop your trousers." I'm not dropping my trousers.
I remember that.
I'm not taking my trousers off.
Yeah. Because the side stand dug in, didn't it?
Yeah.
It pitched me clean off.
Yeah. Oh dear.
First of many bike accidents.
Hilarious. Oh, and Stig's house.
Yeah,
Stig round here. Stig at the dump.
Oh, it was, yes, it was.
Big Stig and Little Stig. These were never here, were they? These were just never. They're probably to say do not cycle, but they make it very hard for cycling, that's for sure. Yeah, God, there was no invasive bush either, but that was Stig's house, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then the Smiths. Yeah, Big Stig, Little Stig.
Go on, Stiggy, take your bike out. No. Come on, yes you are.
Warren Barry, Warren and Wendy lived up there.
So if we hang a right,
If we hang a right, yeah, and look, you can't even cycle around the school anymore like we used to. It's all like a prison now.
I went to that infant school.
There's the Panu's old house, John Panu, Leon.
Yeah. Didn't you say John Panu?
Yeah, he passed away sadly, heart attack. And I think that was Alan Shaw's house.
Sure.
Alan Shaw, one of these. Alan Shaw lived opposite here.
John Panu's
They
house
had,
was there, wasn't it?
yeah, that was John's, number 11.
To America, didn't they?
Yeah, yeah.
A long time ago. Florida.
And then down Westfield Road, this is worth doing all right, I suppose.
Well,
Yeah, because you had Raylene and Cara up here, and
They still do it.
no, they're in the States.
They're where?
In the States.
Oh, they?
Yeah. By the way, most of the people that were mentioned are probably going to be getting to see this. I think that's their old house there, isn't it? Number 58. That's their old house. And you remember when Dad used to get his pegs on the ground coming out the drive on his CB200. He had like a commuter bike.
is he still about?
No, sadly passed away. And Mum.
Really?
Yeah, and Val. But yeah, I remember he came out and he'd get his pegs on the ground, coming out. Unbelievable.
Proper biker.
Yeah, all weathers. I was a proper commuter.
I remember him.
And I say that was where Warren Barry, Wendy Barry, and
Don't remember
Wanda
them. Do I
Barry,
know them?
down there. He was my
Warren, Wanda and Wendy.
But
Is that true?
yeah. Warren was friends with Stuart. Ashdown, yeah. There's Stuart's old house. And,
There's a fire station behind there, isn't it?
yeah, there you go. Number 4. Take your trousers off.
Yeah.
I'm not taking my trousers off. They do.
We can go round there, shouldn't we?
Yeah, if we go around Paris Way, then that'll bring us out to the shops.
Right, okay.
Oh, he looks up to no good. Phone in hand.
This never used to be open, did it?
Yeah, this was. And then there's a cut at the back. There's a cut down the bottom. This takes to the shops. Derek Lundgren used to live in one of these. Yeah. And that the wall's gone. There used to be a wall on the left here. There used to be a wall on the left here, which is long gone. And there used to be a load of trees along where this fence is that we all used to play in.
I vaguely remember that wall.
Do you remember when this shops, when it was an old abattoir and butchers?
No,
And
that's
we-
before my time. That.
Really, it used to be a demolition site. They brought the whole thing to the ground, and we used to play on it with bricks and fires and all sorts. That used to be not Fairways, because Fairways was in Peter, Falfords. That was Falfords.
Okay.
That was Mace.
Yeah.
This
But I do remember going to
Rumours, I believe, was Rumours. That's been a hairdresser's for as long as I can remember.
Falfords, as you call it. You used to be able to get 4 blackjacks for a penny. and the salad. What were the other ones?
Fruit salads.
Fruit salads.
And
Four for a
there,
penny.
up there on that wall, there's 4 holes where there used to be a clock. And where that notice board is, there was a brass plaque, and we came down here because that clock was dedicated to what was his name? John Green, wasn't it? John Green. I'm sure it was John Green, some councillor who did a lot for the village. And we came down here with some Solvol because it was a brass plaque. So we came down here with some brass cleaner, polished it, and someone saw us polishing it and told us off for ruining the plaque. And it was like, no, we're not ruining it. For once, we weren't ruining it. But I remember this place was a greengrocer's, wasn't it? This was Gordina's, I think it was called. And this was Holt's Home Care.
Holt's Hardware, I think.
Holt's, yeah. No, Holt's Home Care.
No, it was hardware, wasn't it?
No, I'm sure it was Holt's Home Care.
Was it?
Yeah, I'm sure of it. Green sign from what I remember as well. How sad's that? Then this was Collett's Cold Freeze. Both shops. It was 2 shops, weren't it?
Yeah.
You could go from...
It was, yes.
Nice. Sorry, there's a couple of bikes just come in. It's nice to see so many bikes in Sawtry still. And then the Chippy. And when the Chippy opened, 5p for a bag of chips. I remember that.
Yeah, I do.
And the queue,
Gambling, wasn't it?
the queue, it was in one and out the other, and the queue was right back to the phone box there.
I remember it well.
5p for a bag of chips. Amazing. And I can remember one stunt because I got banned from the chip shop. Yes, I got banned from a chip shop for undoing the top of the salt pot. So the next person who put the salt in got the whole lot in their chips.
Horrible child, weren't you?
Horrible child. I'll go along with that. I'll go along with that. And I remember that old building there. It was terrifying when it had the. You see this old wooden building here.
What was that then?
I don't know what it was, but when I used to walk back from school, this down here used to be open.
Oh, yeah.
All of that used to be open. You used to be able to see under it, and it was all full of spiders. And you know that if there was a place where ghosts live, that's where it was. So as a young
Hard to believe it's still there,
8-year-old
isn't it,
coming
really?
back from school,
Still
that was
there.
terrifying.
Right, shall we head down that road?
Yeah, Green End Road. So that's all original. Been here years. Rondell's old house, which is now, or has been Greystone for many years. And shops. So, Green End Road, there used to be a boat in that house there, and it never moved in years.
No, it didn't,
this
did it?
massive great boat in the front garden.
Yeah.
But I also remember the very first person who I knew who died on a motorcycle,
Oh, yeah.
died there, Stephen Wynn.
Stephen Wynn,
Wasn't it New Year's Day or New Year's Eve?
Day.
New Year's Day, yeah. 17 years old, and he was riding his 550 in the fog.
He's actually, his headstone is in at the church.
Sawtry Church. We will go there later and have a wander around there.
I remember that. Yeah,
I
he
think
was
the
in
last
17.
time that you and I were in the graveyard together was when we were hanging a noose from one of the trees. As you do.
I deny all knowledge of that.
And I was going to say, it looks fairly original, this fence.
It does.
This was the fence that we used to scramble over.
We'll get in there, no problem.
Yeah, we'd strip that pear tree. We used to go scrumping in that big time. Now look at it, there's no pear trees, there's no nothing.
No.
But we used to go scrumping in there big time. Pears, loads of pears I remember.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then here was the cut through to the adventure playground. Well, that used to be Lockheads, didn't it? That used to be Lockheads TV centre.
Yeah.
And then this used to be, wow, look at that, you wouldn't even get through. God, okay, yeah, do it. That's where I bought my first RD125 from there.
Oh, it was, wasn't it? And then you
Yeah.
flogged it to me and it broke.
Flogged it.
The crank went on it. And actually, I remember when I bought that bike off you, it was
Yeah.
fine, obviously it had something happened to it. And then Julie Nicholas's dad, Peter Nicholas,
Yeah.
he was at Perkins at the time. He said, "Oh, give it to me." So we stripped it. Do you remember? We stripped it in your
Perfect.
mum
Yeah.
and dad's garage, gave him the crank, and he redid it, but it never worked properly after that, to be honest. So, but he did it for free, which
Well,
was very good of him.
This is all so built up.
Yeah.
And this is where my RD, I can't remember the guy's name. Yeah, and allotments.
Yeah.
And then the adventure playground, blimey, it just stops, doesn't it? Wow. Can you actually, this was incredible. Blimey. That's where we used to, well, straight ahead was where we used to go scrumping in the allotments for carrots, and then the adventure playground is now a housing estate.
I reckon if you go straight across here.
Well, that'll take you to, oh, crash. So yeah, this was just school field and adventure playground. Wow, yeah. Because there was a path that went the very perimeter bottom of the school field, of the junior school field. And this is the new junior school, is it? Oh wow, is that the new junior? No, that's the old swimming pool. So what you can see there, yeah, that's the old swimming pool, which is now a sixth form block.
Is it?
That's where everyone used to hang out smoking there.
So
then that's the sports centre, isn't it?
Did they knock that swimming pool down and rebuild
No, they filled it with concrete and turned it into a sixth form block.
So are they original walls? Because it's got a new roof on it, obviously. I wonder if they are the original
Well,
walls. Was it? Oh, it only had sort of like.
it had half brick walls and then fiberglass sheeting, didn't it?
Yeah.
And that lot came down,
Yeah.
and then they built a proper cover for it. But this used to be the junior school field. And do you remember the sand pits for the long jump that used to be?
Were they in here?
They were over there on the right hand side.
Were they?
Yeah, I think there was 2 long jump pits.
I think you can cycle round, can't you? Up near the old junior school. Isn't there a path along there?
Well, if there's not, we'll find one, because we always have.
Absolutely.
All that's missing, God bless him, is Derek Short shouting, "Off the premises!" Rest in peace, Derek.
Come on then, let's have a look and see where this takes us.
Yeah, Sawtry School. Sawtry,
Village Academy. They're all academies now.
that's the caretaker's house. No.
Gate takers, let's go through there.
Is that?
Yeah. Come on. Find it.
Oh wow.
So this is the
Oh.
old pool.
This was the swimming pool when we knew it. And there's the things on the side. Do you remember them big 2, I don't know if they were heaters or what,
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
that stuck out the side? You can see where they were. And then everyone used to smoke right here. It's just a sixth form block now, isn't it?
I think that's built on the original footprint, isn't it? It's the original. This is still the same.
Yeah.
They knocked it down and then rebuilt it.
And then this, yeah. And then this was the
Yeah.
old sports centre.
Yeah.
That's the old youth club there, isn't it? Music room. And then down here was the junior school, and still is. Yeah, that's it. I remember when that was the new sports centre.
The new.
Yeah, the new sports centre. All kids playing cricket. The ag centre, do you remember that? The agricultural centre. Yeah. And then on the way back, because where that tennis court is, there was buildings, and then the caretaker used to burn stuff right about here. Do you remember there was an incinerator that they used to burn stuff? And on the way back from swimming, we used to play with the fire from the
along here. There was all
yeah, there was.
And along there, I seem to think that used to, and maybe that was prefabricated as well.
Well, if you go,
Like a Nissan hut one.
yeah, that was there. Then this was prefabs, and right here where we are stopped was your mum's classroom.
It was, wasn't it? Yes.
Right here.
Yeah.
That was Mr. Hall's office,
Yeah, Mr. Hall. Yeah.
and then John Garner's office.
Yeah. And then you used to come in here, and you go to the hall from here, I think, didn't you?
Yeah,
This used to be where you put all your clothes and
The
not
school
your
hall.
clothes,
And that was the caretaker's house. That was the caretaker's house. And I can remember me and John Panu hanging onto this window here as kids. I mean, it was really hard to get up that, but now it's like so easy. So easy. But I can remember just where your foot is, me and John Panu hanging onto those concrete or whatever they are, limestone window frames, and peering in on tiptoes. So we had our feet on that bar where your foot is, and we were literally on tiptoes, and we could just see through that. And you just think, wow, that was such a long time ago.
I know. Didn't you get on the roof of this place, or was it on the...
No, I remember Graham, if we go around the front, I remember staying around Graham's house, and there used to be a bell at the top there.
it, yes.
The school bell. Yeah, at 3 o'clock in the morning we rang it. Tied a bit of string to it.
Wasn't it? I said, let's go out when the moon's out. It's a great idea because it's all nice and light. And we did, didn't we? But I didn't do that with you. I remember that.
I remember staying at Graham's house, and then coming out at 3 o'clock in the morning, and ringing the school bell at 3 in the morning. Oh, hang on.
School was still running.
We're getting caught. We got away with it again. Oh dear, so funny. That school bell is actually on display in the school hall.
Is it?
Yeah.
What is this now then?
It's just a meeting,
hall.
you know,
Is it?
a village hall, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Because that closed down in 1982.
1876 it was built, it says. Do you remember then? That would have been 1976 when we all dressed up in Victorian clothes and stuff. And
But when that closed down in 1982, because they opened the new school, the new junior school,
which was
across
over there.
in 1982. That's when my mum she took retirement. She didn't want to go over to the new one, so she took early retirement. She was 60 at the time, so
Nice age to start.
it was.
Yeah, no,
so
good
she
on
had
her.
a good 30 years of retirement.
Here's another memory.
Yeah.
You see where the play area is?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember they had them octagon cubes?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
And then before it was all fenced off like a prison,
Yeah.
we used to cycle from one side flat out in, and then almost speedway
There was a lot of
turn.
grass though across there as well, wasn't there? I seem to remember. That's where the adventure playground was. Do you remember with all the wooden bits?
That
and
was over
pieces?
there.
No, there was one over here as well. I'm sure. Sure, there was another one within those grounds.
Don't remember that. I remember the adventure playground with all the logs and the big tunnel.
I'm pretty sure there was another one down there.
Behind where I got that 125 from.
I'm sure that's where there was another one here though, within the grounds of the school, because that was the infant school.
That was the infant school, which you can't actually see from that new building now.
The infant school is behind that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which was built in the 70s, I think. I went to that infant school actually.
Wow.
And it was all open plan. All of the classrooms were open plan.
Which
and
I think they are today.
Are they?
Yeah.
And I remember that
think
as
so.
a kid when I went there, and then came here. Obviously, it was an old school but it was just across the road, wasn't it? So it was perfect. So,
Right.
should we?
Yep.
Right, should we go
Right
down
there.
this way then?
I remember my mum working right there.
Really?
The Association of British Riding Schools, Chesham House, from what I remember.
See that garage there?
Yep, Kelvin's.
I did a stint there for 2 weeks, just before the royal wedding
2
in
weeks.
1981. And I remember they'd said, "Oh, strip these headlights out of the car." That was my job, trying to get them out because they sprayed a lot, didn't they?
Yeah.
And I remember I took it out and it fell on the floor and it smashed. I was mortified. I was like, "Oh no!" They had me stripping all
You
these
were
bits.
how old? About 15?
I was about 15.
Yeah, totally uninsured for work. Love it.
15 years old.
I remember when they built this housing estate, I came down here and lost a welly in a big pool of mud. I do believe that was
remember a
Nicola
girl used to live
Davidson.
round here that I
Nicola
quite-
and Jackie Davidson lived down there, didn't
Yeah,
they?
they lived
In one
here.
of them, I think.
Yeah, one of these.
But,
I had my first kiss with her, with Jackie Davidson.
And she's on my Facebook, and she's probably going to see this.
I remember that. I was only a junior. It was an infant school. But there was another girl lived around here. What was her name? Julie Lang or something like that.
Julie Lang, and she's also on my Facebook,
Is
and
she?
she's also probably going to see this.
Yeah, well, I think she used to live around here. I remember her.
St Judas Lane Hill. Do you remember when it used to
I do.
snow and we used to go sledging down that on all sorts of stuff?
I could do this all day. Probably will be all day. I don't remember anyone living around here that I knew of.
Phil Charlton lived down here.
Did he?
Yeah, Phil Charlton.
He was the one
He died in Yaxley, yeah.
on his
Again,
motorbike,
motorbike.
didn't he? I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, I remember it.
What, 1985?
86, I think he died.
But he used to ride like a lunatic.
Oh, he was going hell for leather. But it's still, yeah, look how much that's changed up there. We'll have to go down St Judas Lane to get up there.
Yeah. There's another guy I know, Mark Laxton.
Yep,
Know him?
yeah.
He's on my Facebook page. He lived further down, I think, didn't he? I seem to remember. Oh, all these memories.
I know, this was just a field. In fact,
Enjoying your half pedal power. I'm doing it the old fashioned way.
can you go no-handed though?
Yeah, no problem.
You still got it?
Yeah!
Same here. But I believe
That's the only thing.
you can't see.
Can't seem to wheelie.
Oh, I thought you said you can't see. I was going to say that's just old age, mate.
Can't wheelie. I can't see either.
So up here, you got Windsor Road, and that's where Graham lived. Atkinson. Yeah, he lived in Windsor Road. I remember that. Can't remember what number. I probably remember this old Mini down there with fortune. Go Windsor Road. So I remember doing a sleepover at my mate Graham's house in one of these. I can't remember which one it was.
A sleepover.
I know, it was a sleepover, but it was a sleepover just so that you could wake up in the middle of the night and go out and get into trouble, basically.
As you do. As you do when you're about 15 years of age.
I was a bit younger than that. I do remember it well though. Windsor Road, Sawtry. Doris the hairdresser's, was where we both used to come and get our hairs cut.
Yeah, she used to do the best mullets ever going.
In fact, looking at that, they still do the Mark Simlow style. Looking at that.
What is the Mark Simlow?
Well, it was a bit like that, but you could see.
I didn't think you had a style.
It was awful. Whatever did I come down here and get my hair cut? And then Cooper's, Kelvin's.
Yeah. So he owned that right to the end then, did he? Cooper.
Well, I'm not sure if he owned it right to the end, or I'm not sure who it was, but I know it's not changed at all, has it really? Yeah. Yeah. Legendary Kelvins. I can't fix stupid. Right, and then the bell.
A shop, I can't remember what it used to
John
be.
Green's.
Could be, yeah. It's right down the bottom here, isn't it? Is that what it's called? John Green's?
John Green's Newsagents.
It was more of a supermarket though, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, there was. That was beyond John Green's.
Oh, was it?
Then, what's it, Barry and Robin Gray lived down here on the right, didn't they?
And you know, you used to live down here, didn't you?
Oh, Ruth Maddock, yeah.
Maddock, yeah.
So that was Barry and Robin's house, just there, I believe.
Ruth Maddock.
He had that lovely X5. It was no X7, sorry. He had that white X7, didn't he? You remember?
Oh, yes, he did.
That was lovely, that.
Yeah.
And then that was Ruth Maddock's house there.
It's cars, mate. Be careful.
That was Ruth Maddock's there.
Yeah.
John Green's, yeah. John
That was
Green's.
the funeral care now, was it?
So, well, that was, yeah, that's right. That was the supermarket, wasn't it? And if we go through this cut, it should take us to St Judas Lane.
To where?
To St Judas Lane.
Oh, right, does it?
Yep. From what I remember. From what I remember about being told off for cycling down here years ago. Do you remember the Don, Mr. Don from Scouts?
No.
And he lived up here.
I went to the Scouts.
There was another one, someone, Duncan Campbell. He lived down here as well. Wow, what a memories. Duncan Campbell. He lived up here in, well, again, I don't remember this old building here. I remember it as bungalows. Oh, these are the bungalows I remember. Yeah, Green End House. Nice place. Wow, very nice place. So yeah, I remember all of these. Duncan, Mr. Don lived in one of these from what I remember. He was the scout leader.
Oh, I wasn't in the Scouts.
Absolutely.
I went to the Cubs.
He absolutely hated me. He was probably one of many that absolutely hated me. And then here's the good old St Judas Lane Hill. Well, we used to do our cross-country running. We used to do our winter sledging.
This is where, I think this is down here where
Wow. And that's allotments, wow.
and a bit of a playing field as well.
Yeah.
Where does that take you then?
No idea. Rockingham Road, that'll be. That'll be back of Rockingham Road, yeah. But yeah, we used to, there was no trees on it. I remember, we used to fly down here, didn't we? Remember I came down here on my bed head, took the bed head off my bed, stripped all the vinyl off it,
Oh my God.
and come down here. Now look, you're on CCTV as well.
Oh my God.
So the kids really can't have that much fun.
Yeah.
Top of
Sawtry Mount.
St Judas Lane, where we used to come here when it snowed, and we used to go down this hill here, and it is a hill, only a small hill, but by Fenland standards it's big. And also when you're trying to cycle up on a normal bike, it's also big. And we used to come here when it all snowed, and we used to go down this hill on sledges, bin liners, dustbin lids, even airwear. I remember Richard Featherstone going down this hill
in his airwear,
tucked up in a ball on the soles of his feet, going down on his airwear, flying. And you know, I mean, it's not there now, but there was a ditch at the bottom, a fence and a ditch. And I remember if you got up too much speed, you would end up crashing straight into the fence. These trees weren't there though. I don't remember any trees on this field whatsoever.
Nor do I. These must.
And now if you look, it's just, yeah, it's a proper village recreation field.
It is lovely, isn't it?
It's really.
What a day like today.
Well, it's lovely. We don't live here.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. We no longer live here.
We're no longer here ruining it.
Yeah. So of course it's fine now.
Yeah, it's good.
It's good to live in Sawtry now.
When you look at the view though, what you can see.
I know.
You can see the school. You can see the school in the distance.
Can you?
Yeah, it's right over there. You can see Sawtry School. And I'm just trying to work out what's what. This must be sort of the Rockingham Road estate on the left.
Yeah.
Then St Judas Lane. There was some old houses down there. I didn't even remember seeing them.
No, yeah. No,
I don't remember them.
But that's been built on as well, hasn't it?
Yeah.
There's bigger, more of a development. There's those houses there, that cluster of houses there.
It is quite nice. It must be nice in the houses.
Beautiful, yeah.
Backing onto this.
Yeah, look at it. I mean, you can sit up here for hours, couldn't you? You have a picnic over there. Look, you got a picnic table.
Picnic benches and here.
Set fire to the trees with your picnic.
Have you noticed that the
barbecue?
Have you noticed that the tables are made of metal? It's probably because the kids.
They'd be burnt down, wouldn't they?
They would be burnt down. There's something about Sawtry and fire.
What is
it's
that?
everywhere.
It's a fire thing, isn't it?
Fire.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. Sawtry and fire. Sawtry and fire go together like Simla and Falla.
Yep. Absolutely.
You see what I mean about this meadow look that's taken over?
I quite like that,
yeah, it is. It's everywhere now. When you drive around, you have a look at it.
I've kept the grass a little bit longer just to make it, a bit more meadowy like.
Not laziness then.
No.
No.
No, I've kept it like that for a reason. And around the surrounding areas, you know, where you get like that on the, sort of like up against your fence. I've left that. It was quite nice.
You see the fire station as well in the distance here.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can. Yeah.
And you can also see, I mean, that way must be Glatton. So the Drum and Monkey. Do you remember the Drum and Monkey?
I do, yeah.
You go beyond the White Bridge, and there was that road on the right.
Yeah.
And there was that bottle dump. Do you remember that?
I do.
There was thousands of old bottles. They must be worth a fortune.
What happened to those?
I know a lot of them got broke by a couple of kids who in their junior years who had fun smashing them.
Well, that way over there, it's got to be Deer Park Road over that way, hasn't it?
Beyond it, yeah.
Yeah, I can say.
But the Drum and Monkey went all the way to Glatton, didn't it?
Yeah.
Came out in Glatton.
Wow.
Just, I can remember Andy Baxter and me walking ditches. We used to go up at the White Bridge in our wellies.
What? Just walk along
Get in
the
a ditch, get in a a little brook and follow it until it stopped. But just trying to get lost in the countryside.
Blimey.
Walk for as far as you could.
How old were you? Yeah, he used to live down Deer Park Road, didn't he?
He did,
I believe.
yeah.
I remember, down the bottom end.
He did.
Yeah. Oh, that's all coming back to me.
Smallest bedroom I've ever been in. It was tiny.
Was it?
Tiny little bedroom, yeah. I remember going around his tiniest bedroom. But
shall we shift on?
Yeah, indeed.
Try something else?
Onward to the next stop.
Where should we go next?
So yeah, we're on Fen Lane now, and I remember Terry and his sister and family lived in there, the Rookery. And that's an original old post box. That's a GR, that is. That's been there. I think Costigan lives there, from what I remember.
Don't remember him.
Used to have a three-wheeler. Used to have a Robin Reliance. What he didn't know about Robin Reliance wasn't worth not knowing.
No, I don't remember him. He didn't have one of those bomb boat things, did he, as well?
Not sure. Right, let's head off down to
We were just remembering Terry's mum had two, or the Rooks had two Rover V8s in green, weren't they?
The V8S with the gold
do
wheels.
a right here, yeah, gold wheels, yeah. And it was the first car that we ever did 100 miles an hour in. As we were sat in the back, Terry was sat in the back with us, and his mum was driving 100 mile an hour down the A15, slapping Terry, telling him off while doing a ton. It's now a 40 zone, the A14.
Mental.
We were thinking, blimey, we're all going to die here. So, Newton Road.
Newton Road.
Very famous in 1978, this little corner.
It's the skateboard area.
Where we used to skateboard. We used to skateboard down. In fact, if we drive down it, we'll drive rides down it.
And
so we used to go
when you
on
strop,
this.
didn't you, Mark, with your terrible skateboard
My
that you
Albert,
had? Yeah.
bloody awful thing. So I used to skateboard on this path in the 70s,
Yeah.
late 70s. But by the time you hit the bottom, you were flying, and then you had to do a right or shoot off the curb.
I wonder why we chose this area though for skateboarding, because it's not
'Cause it had a
exactly
hill.
big hill, though, is it?
It had a hill. It was the only hill.
Yeah,
I remember-
skateboarding saga, I remember that well.
The chemistry teacher, Mr. Atkinson, used to live down here as well.
That was in, I suppose, the secondary school, wasn't it?
Yeah, secondary school.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, many happier a day spent on that footpath there on the left,
Only, isn't it?
isn't it? As I say, it was
We are 40 years on.
even on my homemade skateboard that used to veer to the right, which would end up crashing into that fence. Oh, everywhere. And now
That bad, you were,
it is.
bloody rubbish.
It was bloody rubbish. It was awful. It was terrible. And it was Albert. What a name! Albert, for a skateboard. Albert, awful. And it had like glass wheels, didn't it? It used to rumble like hell,
Yeah.
and it had nothing was great.
No. That's solid wheels.
Solid wheels made out of hard plastic that used to.
I bet it's worth a fortune, yeah, because it's rubbish.
Anything from the 70s.
Absolutely unbelievable though. What fun days. So we're now going to go off to the churchyard. Sawtry All Saints. And probably go and see some old friends that are in there. And there is Mr. Don that we were talking about earlier. I wonder what he would make of me now.
The church is locked. I wanted to pray.
Sawtry Church. Sawtry Graveyard. There we go. There's his grave.
Yeah.
There's his grave. God bless you, Mr. Don. And thanks for the thanks for everything you did with scouting. Yeah, there's a little nod to his scouting. He was the scoutmaster, the scout leader. There's his little nod to that. 74.
There he is. Stephen Wynn.
And there's Phil Charlton's.
1st of January 1982.
Oh,
17 years
I
old.
know, it's terrible, isn't it?
Yeah.
First guy that we knew.
Yeah.
I can still see his
Remember that
face. I can still see him in my mind's eye.
Yeah. He had that big.
Yeah, the XJ550.
That's right. Yeah.
Black and-
17. You
I
think
know,
that's
it's
quite
terrible,
young, isn't it?
Yeah, shocking.
Didn't he hit a car or something?
Yeah, he went in the back of a car in the
Yeah.
fog. You've got to feel sorry for his parents.
Absolutely.
Ella Wilkinson, there's another name from my past. Lives in.
Yeah.
Used to live in Tinker's Lane. Down Mellors was the road. That was the house. Mellors.
Cool. 1993.
Yeah. Phil Charlton,
Oh God, yeah.
21.
23rd of May 1985.
85. I thought it was. I
Yeah.
thought it was 86. I remember we come on the back of my bike when we came across
I
that.
think so.
He had he had like a maroon GPZ 1100.
Was it 1100?
It was 1100, and he had it custom sprayed by Dream Machine,
Really?
and the side panel was on the ground,
Was it?
As we rode by, the side panel was on the ground, and when you looked down, we knew it was his because it was so unique. There was a little thank you to Neil Morans for doing the tidying job of his grave.
Did he?
His mate Neil came last year and tidied it all up. Looks good.
Yeah. You wonder with these things, I mean, like him, I don't know whether his parents are still alive.
Barry Willard.
Charlton, or even like Stephen Wynn, if his parents are around.
Barry Willard. Another name.
What name's a bit?
23. Mr. Holditch's grave, who just about every child in the village worked for. It is greengrocer's right there. He had a greengrocer's place just there.
United with Gordon.
Yeah, I can still. Didn't she have about like 4 teeth in her face? That was it. I'm sure. I remember apparently she.
Was he 65?
Apparently she took me to church one day, and I spent the whole time standing next to her. She held onto my hand, and I spent the whole time kicking her to let go. Kick, 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 and she refused to let go. I was only very little. And here is a tree.
The tree.
The tree, I believe it was this one actually. If I'm not wrong, it was this. This is like that tree. You know, I said we used to climb trees that used to drop down onto the path. Yeah. It was these. It was like this. It was like this.
That's the tree, isn't it? That is it.
This is the tree where 2 little buggers, and there's no other word for it, came and hung a noose in the graveyard. How shocking is that?
Might be going to heaven.
Yeah.
I can't see me heading northwards. I think it'd be south for me.
But how shocking is that? How absolutely awful.
Oh, look at some of these graves. I remember that.
Now, wasn't there was a big pond over there, wasn't there, where the old abbey used to be?
Could be.
There was a big pond. Wow. It is. Yeah. Yeah, who'd have thought? Who'd have thought we'd be walking around a graveyard for a good day out? We've just stumbled on the rather bird-pooed seat dedicated to the memory of Mrs. Mitchley, who me and Paul Holliday made a flower stand for in 1979, which would put us at about 15 years old.
Yeah.
It's still in the church.
Still there.
Today, I believe.
Easter.
Welcome to Sawtry. Where it's all about fire. It's all about fire. What is it about Sawtry and fire?
I'm a fire
And it says there, the ring ditch on Tort Hill, which commands extensive views over the Great Northern Road, was an absolutely excellent place for riding a KE 175 motorcycle with no insurance, no licence, no nothing. There's a fence here, which obviously is meant to keep people from doing what we're doing.
It's part of the speaker.
Yeah. Well, I can remember coming down here on, well, there's 2 memories down here.
That's down here, mate.
There's 2 memories down here. One is Vince Tyndale's KE 175, riding it up and down the hill. Up one side, down the other, across the road, up, down, up, down, up, down. And then the other one was sitting in the middle of the A1 with you. Remember, W Reg spotting.
Yeah,
Just sitting in the centre of a dual carriageway. There was like a tiny wooden stile, do you remember it? We were spotting W Reg vehicles on the day that W Reg came out. It couldn't have been W because that was like 1981 or something, so it couldn't have been W Reg spring. Maybe it was. Oh, S plate, wasn't it? Yeah. S Reg. S plate special. The S plate special. I remember that, but I mean,
the S plate special's coming down the line. The
S plate special just on time. Yeah, I remember that. But who would let their kid sit in the centre reservation of a 70 zone with lorries and cars flying by, whilst they write down how many S registrations they've seen?
What crazy times. So we're now in Tinker's Lane, and I remember the old granary store, the old grain store here on the left. In fact, there we go, the granary, yeah. And
I don't remember that at all.
you don't remember it, no? It's just set back from the road. And just up here is where I found my infamous bow, which I then went and bought the arrows from Galleon gun makers in Peterborough, because of course a 13-year-old or 12-year-old is quite all right buying arrows from a gun shop.
How do you manage to find a bow? Was it just on the
It was on the side of the road, it was laying down like here. It was a proper fiberglass bow. And that old well's been there a long while on the right.
Yeah, that, yes.
Yeah, that's been there a long while. And the only thing that isn't there, which is very, very depressing, is the tree that we used to sit in as kids, which is now a lamppost. It was a conker tree, wasn't it? Just here.
Yeah, I do remember it, yes. I do remember it.
See, it's even got its own gravestone there, and it's marked BT for brilliant times, because brilliant times were spent up that conker tree.
Yes. Where are we going? The shop?
Yeah, I think that's a damn fine idea. Ice cream, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, definitely. Oh, look at the old Mini, that's nice.
Yeah, gee, that's proper out there. So actually, come here, it's a bit like old times, motorcycles, police and old minis. Right. Greystones, or as I remember it, Rondell's house.
Oh, the football's on, isn't it, today? England are playing today. Where are we going?
Ice cream time, I think.
Is that the shop you've just been?
Probably the best one I'd have thought next door.
Ah.
Yeah, in fact, you're right, and that's where the old school bus used to pick us up, wasn't it? So, the old 151.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I used to come here for, the school bus to take me to Walton School.
No, the school bus was there.
Just here, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the old 904, not quite the same as the 151. Oh, hang on, it's still after us, mate. What else is going on in Sawtry? I've heard that 2 lads are cycling where they're not allowed to cycle.
They went up the hill.
They went through the fence at Sawtry Hill.
Yeah.
Wasn't us.
It's a big offence.
Wasn't us. Wasn't us. We've been here all the time.
Not me, officer.
I was on my way to church.
Nothing to
We have been to church.
We have been to church.
Yeah.
Repenting our sins. Right, come on, let's go down to...
Do you think they want the silver back? And the lead off the roof?
Yeah, no.
Another memory of our childhood. You remember conquering
Yeah,
with these
yeah,
trees?
yeah.
And it's so close to that house, and they used to complain, even though the trees are in their front garden, they used to unreasonably complain that the children were throwing half a brick up their tree as it rattled down at complete random.
How unreasonable is that?
It is
I don't see the
totally
difference.
unreasonable. Could have gone straight through their window, but we would have got our conkers. Absolutely unbelievable, things we got up to. Absolutely incredible. Now, do you remember there was a shop up here as well? There was a shop up here.
Was there?
Yeah, I think it was Trevor Gilbert's auntie or something.
All I remember is the... there was always one that was left over, wasn't there? That
So
they
this-
didn't move out to.
This here,
Household.
on the right, that was a shop. You can actually
Was it?
see, if you look above the window, you can see where the shop name was. That was a shop. And
What did it sell?
oh, I honestly don't remember. But that was where the prefabs were, down there.
Here.
Yeah, that road.
Do you remember there was one solitary prefab building that obviously someone lived in and they would not sell, and it was just overgrown. I always remember that.
From the Second World War.
Yeah.
And the old, that was the old church hall, wasn't it?
Yeah, been in there a few times.
Yeah, many a do. Park Road, my apologies. That Park Road was where the prefabs were. That was in Park Road, not Annesley Road.
can't remember all these houses. Is there anyone you know from around here?
Well, Tim Fowler lives in one of these. Yeah.
Is that his brother or what?
Yeah, Andy was his brother, or is his brother. And Tim used to live.
Stay in the same village, isn't he?
Yeah, yeah. So if we do a right, we're back onto the very politically incorrect Tinker's Lane.
And then what?
How long until that's changed?
Millview.
Ella Wilkinson's house. Ella Wilkinson's gorgeous house.
Is she no longer around?
She's up in the graveyard. This is a one-way street, but people do drive down it the wrong way. Yeah, I've seen cars come down here the wrong way before. Yeah. Did you see that bike at the top near the White Bridge? Did you see that took that blind bend? He was in the middle of the road. I think you get wiped out, mate.
We never did that in our day.
I remember, let's turn this camera around. I can remember Stuart going on the back of Vince's bike backwards down that hill. So he's facing the wrong way.
Yeah.
God dear.
What
Facing the wrong way.
Why did Vince come off? Was he on the back of the
Come
bike?
off.
He broke his arm, didn't he?
Yeah, that was because, who was it under? Someone undertook. No, Vince undertook. Vince came up on the inside over on the fens, clipped handlebars, fell off.
I thought it was on the back of the bike.
But he didn't break anything because he could wiggle his fingers, which actually turned out to mean a operation in the evening to pin his wrists. So my medical diagnosis of a shattered wrist wasn't particularly accurate.
No. But he's all right now, so
He's all right. And what's more, the bike only needed a clutch lever, because I'm sure people were worried about that.
Has he got a Harley?
He's got a Harley now.
Yeah.
So, heading back up Gidding Road.
Gidding Road.
And
Millview is where Rookery is.
WI Hall. That's where the guy who owned Country Life lived. Can't remember his name, can you?
No. No idea.
Wow, the old GPZ. $600. And Deer Park Road. Back into Deer Park Road. So, I remember Trevor Cheetham.
Yes.
And Catherine and James. And
Julie.
the McGowans.
Yeah. Julie Thingy used to live up there as well, didn't she?
Julie
Doherty.
Julie Burrell.
Julie Burrell, that was her name.
Yeah. And you've got here, well, Millview, you said you lived down here. You've got Ken Bradley's house. He was someone who worked with my dad.
Right, so I can't remember exactly which house bungalow it was.
I remember I used to deliver a Christmas card to that bungalow there every year. From no idea, it was on the Christmas card list from my mum. I've no idea.
It's here, number 9.
Wow. You lived there? Honestly, I had no idea. I had no idea you lived in Millview. I'll tell you something, it's not much of a mill view anymore, is it? It's a housing estate view.
Yeah, it's number 9. It's pretty much halfway up. It's either that or number 5. But I think it's 9 because I seem to remember that wood on the side of the house. Unless that's got the same.
The same.
I'm pretty sure it was number 9.
Amazing. Well, there you go. You told me something I didn't know about.
There you go.
After how many years? So that was the Bukowski's house. The Bukowski, and he was, I believe he was in World War II, and he didn't let his wife throw any veg out because she couldn't waste anything. Because if she wasted anything, it was a waste. And there's number 7, and oh my, the garage is gone and everything has gone. Yeah, but the original ones that my dad changed. It's my original bedroom window open. Hiya. So that's the end of a rather good day, to be quite honest with you.
Yep.
loads of fun memories, loads of fun memories.
Two old farts talking about a load of crap, basically. That's all it is.
But we even bumped into the new owner of number 7, and just was saying to him just how happy I am to see him making something different of my parents' place, because it's their dream now. It's not my parents' dream. Life goes on. You got to do your living. You got to enjoy the journey.
So instead of cycling home, we've strapped the bikes to the back of the van and go home in luxury.
Yeah, so that's the difference. They're now on a bike carrier, and we're going to go back and have a barbecue, I think.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah. So yeah, goodbye number 9.
Yeah.
Goodbye number 7.
Which used to be number 9 and number 11.
It did, yeah, yeah. I remember when my dad got told he had to change his house number to number 7, and he said, that's fine, we're going to call the house number 9. So it would have been NO9 as the name of the house.
Really?
Because you can call your house what you like.
Can you? Is that what you called it then?
You can call it anything you like, but it has to be numbered. So it would be number 7, but called number 9. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. I have. I enjoyed making it, that's for sure.
Too.
And enjoy the journey, make lots of memories, and then record them all on camera. Because it's a one-way street, this life. Take care.